Ladies and gentlemen, success is not an accident. It does not happen overnight, nor is it reserved for a special group of people. Every great success story you see today, whether in business, education, leadership, or innovation, began with a single small step. When a child takes their first step, they do not run instantly. They stumble, they fall, but they rise again. Why? Because movement is the beginning of mastery. The same applies to life. The greatest leaders of history, the most influential thinkers, and the most prosperous entrepreneurs all started with humble beginnings. They embraced small opportunities and turned them into extraordinary achievements. Consider a seed. It is small, almost insignificant, but within that seed lies the potential for a great tree that will one day provide shade, shelter, and fruit. However, the seed must be planted, watered, and protected. Many people despise small beginnings because they focus on the present struggle rather than the future impact. But if you ignore the small step, you will never reach the great destination. Success demands vision. It requires discipline. Those who achieve greatness are those who take consistent, intentional steps forward. They do not wait for perfect conditions, nor do they fear failure. Instead, they understand that every failure is a lesson and every step forward is progress. Do not despise the small beginnings in your life. The greatest companies in the world started in garages. The greatest books were once just ideas in a notebook. The greatest leaders once had no followers. What makes the difference? They took the first step. Today, I challenge you, start where you are, use what you have, take that small step toward your vision. Because the journey of success does not begin with a leap, it begins with a decision to step forward. Success in its grandest form is often admired from the outside, but few take the time to understand where it truly begins. Every great achievement, every towering empire, and every legendary name in history can trace its origins back to a simple, often unnoticed beginning. Small beginnings are the foundation of greatness. They may seem insignificant, even unimportant at times, but within them lies the seed of something far greater than what the present moment reveals. When we look at the world around us, we see massive skyscrapers touching the sky, industries worth billions, and people whose influence spans across generations. Yet, if we were to rewind the clock and examine their origins, we would find that they all started from an initial step, an idea, a moment of courage, a tiny effort. The greatness that we see today was once just a dream in someone's mind. That dream was given life through action. And that action was often a small, simple beginning. Nature itself teaches us the importance of small beginnings. Consider the mighty oak tree. It does not emerge as a fully grown giant. It begins as a tiny acorn. That acorn, buried in the soil, does not appear impressive at first, but within it lies the blueprint of greatness. When nurtured, watered, and given time, it grows, expanding its roots deep into the earth, strengthening its foundation before it ever reaches its full height. The world does not recognize the acorn as extraordinary, but in time, it commands attention as a towering oak. One of the greatest reasons why many people never achieve success is because they underestimate the power of small beginnings. They want immediate results, they desire instant recognition, they dream of success without the process. But every significant achievement in history was once just a small effort, nurtured over time with persistence and vision. The most successful businesses today were not always giants. They were once just ideas scribbled on paper, struggling to find investors, operating from garages, and running on limited resources. What set them apart was their commitment to taking the first step and their unwavering belief in the power of growth. Small beginnings also test our character. They require patience, discipline, and faith. Many people abandon their dreams because they do not see immediate results, but small steps compound over time. A single drop of water may seem insignificant, but over time it carves valleys through mountains. A simple act of discipline, repeated daily, transforms an ordinary person into a master of their craft. The world may not notice the early efforts, but those who persist eventually become the ones who shape history. One of the biggest misconceptions about success is that it belongs only to those with great resources or exceptional talent. In reality, success belongs to those who dare to begin. The world is full of gifted individuals who never took the first step. Talent without action is wasted potential. Resources without vision lead nowhere. But even the smallest action, when taken consistently, creates unstoppable momentum. Small beginnings are not a disadvantage. They are an opportunity to grow, learn, and prepare for the greater things to come. Failure often discourages people from taking the first step, but failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. The most remarkable success stories are filled with moments of struggle, rejection, and disappointment. However, those who achieved greatness were the ones who saw failure not as a stopping point, but as a stepping stone. They embraced the lessons hidden in their small beginnings, understanding that every setback was refining them for something great. Greatness is not about how impressive the start looks. It is about the persistence to keep going despite the humble beginnings. If you study the stories of world leaders, inventors, and pioneers, you will find a common theme. Each one had a moment when they had nothing but an idea and the courage to act on it. They faced resistance, doubt, and uncertainty, but their belief in the process carried them through. They took small, steady steps that eventually led them to remarkable achievements. No matter how small your beginning may seem, it has the potential to lead to something extraordinary. Do not despise it, do not ignore it, and most importantly, do not give up on it. Every great success story begins with a small step. And every small step carries within it the power to create something that will stand the test of time. Growth is a fundamental law of life. Everything in existence, from the smallest seed to the mightiest empire, follows the principle of gradual development. No great achievement is instantaneous. It is the result of a consistent process of expansion, refinement, and maturity. Whether in nature, business, personal success, or education, the principle of growth remains unchanged. Nothing great happens overnight, but with patience, persistence, and deliberate effort, even the smallest beginnings can lead to extraordinary outcomes. Consider the process of planting a tree. A farmer does not expect a seed to become a fully grown tree the day after it is planted. Instead, they understand that growth happens in stages. First, the seed must be placed in the soil, hidden beneath the surface where no one can see its progress. Then it must be watered and given the right conditions to germinate. For days, weeks, or even months, nothing appears to be happening. But beneath the surface, the roots are stretching, the foundation is being established, and the plant is preparing to emerge. When it finally breaks through the soil, it is still fragile, needing care and protection. With time, nourishment, and resilience against external challenges, it grows into something strong and unshakable. This principle applies to personal growth as well. Every skill, talent, or knowledge that a person acquires develops over time. No one becomes an expert in a day. Musicians do not master their instruments in a single practice session. Athletes do not achieve peak performance without years of training. Leaders do not gain wisdom without experience and learning. Those who truly understand success recognize that it is a process, not an event. It requires commitment to continuous improvement, even when progress seems slow or invisible. One of the most common reasons why people give up on their dreams is because they expect immediate results. They start a project, a business, or a new habit with enthusiasm, but when they do not see significant progress right away, they become discouraged. This is because they fail to understand that growth operates in phases. Just like a tree does not bear fruit in its first season, success does not appear immediately. There are seasons of preparation, seasons of struggle, and seasons of visible breakthrough. Those who endure the early stages and remain faithful to their process eventually reap the rewards. Growth also requires the right environment. Just as a plant needs sunlight, water, and healthy soil, individuals need the right mindset, discipline, and learning opportunities. A seed cannot grow in toxic soil, just as a person cannot thrive in an environment that stifles their potential. Those who seek success must be intentional about where they plant themselves, choosing relationships, mentors, and influences that support their development rather than hinder it. Surrounding oneself with negativity, fear, or complacency will choke growth, but positioning oneself in an atmosphere of encouragement, knowledge, and challenge will foster greatness. Another crucial aspect of growth is the ability to embrace challenges. Many people mistake obstacles as signs that they are not meant to succeed. But challenges are actually a necessary part of the growth process. Resistance builds strength. Just as muscles grow when they are stretched and strained, character and ability develop when faced with difficulties. Every setback, failure, or hardship carries a lesson that prepares a person for greater responsibility and success. Those who rise to greatness are not those who avoid difficulties, but those who endure them, learn from them, and keep moving forward. Growth is also about consistency. A plant does not grow tall by being watered only once. It requires regular care and attention. In the same way, success is not achieved through a single action, but through repeated efforts over time. The small daily decisions a person makes, whether to study, to practice, to invest, or to improve, accumulate into something powerful. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is often not intelligence or talent, but the willingness to remain consistent in the pursuit of excellence. Many of the world's most successful individuals attribute their achievements not to sudden breakthroughs, but to years of unseen effort. The writer who becomes a bestseller spent years perfecting their craft. The entrepreneur who builds a global brand started with small, disciplined steps. The leader who inspires millions first had to develop themselves through years of learning, failing, and growing. Every visible success is built on a foundation of hidden preparation, persistence, and patience. The principle of growth teaches that nothing valuable happens instantly, but with steady and intentional effort, transformation is inevitable. It reminds us that progress is not always seen immediately, but every step forward, no matter how small, brings us closer to the goal. Those who understand and embrace this principle are the ones who rise above mediocrity and create legacies that endure. Success is not a product of luck or coincidence. It is the result of two essential forces working together: vision and discipline. Vision is the ability to see beyond the present, to imagine what could be, and to set a clear direction for the future. Discipline is the commitment to take consistent action toward that vision, regardless of obstacles, distractions, or difficulties. When vision and discipline are combined, they create an unstoppable force that turns dreams into reality. A person without vision is like a traveler without a destination. They may keep moving, but they have no clear direction, and their efforts are often wasted on things that do not lead to meaningful progress. Vision provides clarity. It allows a person to see beyond their current circumstances and recognize the potential that lies ahead. Every great achievement in history began with someone who had a vision, an idea, a dream, or a deep conviction that something greater was possible. Vision gives purpose to action and meaning to struggle. It is what separates those who create lasting impact from those who merely exist. Vision alone is not enough. Many people have great ideas, powerful dreams, and strong ambitions, but they never achieve them because they lack discipline. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. It is the daily commitment to take action even when motivation fades. It is the ability to stay focused, work hard, and make sacrifices when necessary. Without discipline, vision remains just a fantasy, something hoped for but never achieved. Those who accomplish great things are not necessarily the most talented or the most intelligent, but they are the ones who have mastered the ability to remain disciplined in the pursuit of their goals. Discipline is difficult because it requires consistency. It is easy to be excited about a vision when it is fresh, but true discipline is demonstrated in the moments when progress is slow, obstacles appear, or failure seems imminent. Those who are disciplined do not rely on feelings, they rely on commitment. They show up every day, put in the effort, and refuse to be discouraged by temporary setbacks. They understand that every step, no matter how small, brings them closer to their vision. One of the greatest enemies of discipline is distraction. In a world filled with endless entertainment, social media, and competing demands for attention, it is easy to lose focus. Many people start with strong intentions, but they get sidetracked by things that do not contribute to their success. Vision requires focus, and focus requires saying no to distractions. Successful people prioritize what matters most, cutting out anything that does not align with their purpose. They understand that discipline is not just about working hard. It is about working smart, directing energy toward activities that bring real progress. Another challenge that comes with discipline is the need for delayed gratification. Many people give up on their vision because they do not see immediate results. They want success to happen quickly and effortlessly, but all great achievements require time. Just as a farmer does not expect to harvest crops immediately after planting seeds, a person with vision understands that patience is required. Discipline means being willing to work for a long-term goal without losing motivation. It means resisting short-term pleasures that could derail progress in favor of long-term rewards that will bring true fulfillment. Vision and discipline also require resilience. No journey to success is smooth. There will always be obstacles, failures, and moments of doubt. But those who achieve greatness are the ones who refuse to quit. They learn from their mistakes, adapt to challenges, and keep moving forward. They do not see failure as the end. They see it as a stepping stone toward improvement. Their discipline keeps them pushing forward, even when circumstances seem unfavorable. It is important to note that vision must be realistic and backed by action. Some people have dreams, but they never take the time to develop a clear plan or take the necessary steps to achieve them. Having a vision without a strategy is like having a map but refusing to follow the roads. Discipline is what turns that map into a practical journey, ensuring that each step brings a person closer to their destination. Every successful individual, whether in business, education, leadership, or personal growth, has relied on vision and discipline. They started with a clear goal and committed themselves to the process, even when it was difficult. They refused to let distractions, failures, or delays stop them. They understood that success is not about luck. It is about having the determination to keep going day after day until the vision becomes reality. Vision without discipline is just wishful thinking, and discipline without vision is wasted effort. But when the two come together, they create unstoppable progress. Those who master both will not only achieve their dreams, but also inspire others to do the same. Fear and doubt are two of the greatest barriers to success. They hold people back from taking the first step, from seizing opportunities, and from reaching their full potential. Every great achievement in history was accomplished by someone who faced fear but refused to be controlled by it. Those who succeed are not those who never experience fear or doubt, but those who learn how to overcome them. Fear is a natural human response to the unknown. It is the mind's way of protecting itself from potential failure, rejection, or discomfort. However, while fear can sometimes serve as a warning, it often becomes a prison that keeps people from stepping into their destiny. Many individuals have great ideas, dreams, and abilities, but they never take action because they are afraid of failing. They worry about what others will think, they fear making mistakes, and they hesitate because they are unsure of the outcome. This hesitation becomes a habit, and before they know it, years pass without any progress. Doubt is just as dangerous as fear. While fear paralyzes through emotional resistance, doubt weakens confidence and belief. It makes a person question their abilities, their worth, and even their dreams. Doubt whispers, "You are not good enough, you will never succeed, or you don't have what it takes." These thoughts may seem harmless at first, but when repeated often enough, they become deeply ingrained beliefs that prevent action. Many people have failed before they even started, not because they lacked the ability, but because they allowed doubt to convince them that success was impossible. One of the most important truths about fear and doubt is that they are based on perception, not reality. Many of the things people fear never actually happen. Studies have shown that most of the worries people dwell on never come to pass. Yet these imagined fears keep them from moving forward. The fear of failure, for example, is a common reason why people avoid trying new things. But failure is not the end. It is a lesson. Every successful person has failed multiple times before reaching success. Instead of seeing failure as a reason to quit, those who achieve greatness see it as a stepping stone for growth. Overcoming fear and doubt begins with a shift in mindset. It requires recognizing that fear is not an enemy, but a challenge to be conquered. The most effective way to silence fear is through action. Action proves to the mind that fear is exaggerated. A person who is afraid of public speaking, for example, may never fully overcome the fear by simply thinking about it. But the moment they take the step to speak in front of an audience, they begin to realize that their fear was bigger in their imagination than in reality. The same principle applies to any area of life, whether it is starting a business, pursuing a new career, or developing a new skill. Taking action is the antidote to fear. Doubt is also defeated through experience. Confidence is not something a person is born with. It is built through repeated effort. The more a person takes action despite their doubts, the more they prove to themselves that they are capable. Confidence grows like a muscle. It strengthens with use. A person who doubts their ability to succeed in a new field, for example, will never build confidence if they never try. But the moment they take the first step, learn, and improve, their confidence begins to rise. Each small success weakens doubt and replaces it with belief. Fear and doubt often come from external influences. Negative voices, criticism, and discouragement from others can plant seeds of insecurity. Many people allow the opinions of others to dictate their potential. They hesitate because they fear judgment or rejection. However, the truth is that no great achievement was ever accomplished by seeking the approval of everyone. Those who succeed understand that not everyone will support their vision, and that is okay. What matters most is believing in oneself and remaining committed to the goal. Another powerful way to overcome fear and doubt is to surround oneself with the right environment. Encouragement, mentorship, and positive influences can make a significant difference. When people are surrounded by individuals who believe in them, they begin to believe in themselves. On the other hand, constant exposure to negativity and doubt reinforces fear. That is why successful individuals are intentional about who they listen to and who they allow to speak into their lives. Preparation also plays a key role in overcoming fear and doubt. Many fears arise from uncertainty and lack of knowledge. When a person feels unprepared, their confidence is low and fear takes over. However, preparation builds assurance. A student who studies well for an exam has less fear than one who is unprepared. A business person who has researched and planned carefully has more confidence than one who is unsure of their strategy. Preparation reduces uncertainty, which in turn minimizes fear and doubt. Overcoming fear and doubt requires persistence. There will be moments when fear tries to return and doubt attempts to take control again. But those who succeed are those who refuse to give in. They keep pushing forward even when they feel uncertain. They remind themselves of their goals, their progress, and their ability to overcome challenges. Every step taken in courage makes the next step easier. Fear and doubt will always exist, but they do not have to control the outcome. Those who rise above them are the ones who choose to act despite their emotions. They understand that courage is not the absence of fear, but the determination to move forward anyway. They embrace failure as a learning experience, surround themselves with positive influences, prepare diligently, and persist through challenges. As a result, they achieve what others only dream about.